Is that scary, Holly? There's so much mulch here, just everywhere you go. All right, welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. In this video, I'm gonna be putting this Carolina Sapphire Arizona Cypress into this space in a landscape job that I've been working on. I think there are 3 videos from it so far, and there's actually 2 more coming. This is gonna be part of a screen that's going in here between here and a new house that was built next door. So make sure you're following along with the channel. You'll see all of these spaces come together at the same time. Whoever previously was doing maintenance over here put about this much mulch down, double, triple shredded hardwood. And so as I've been doing these jobs, I have not been remulching because I'm trying to wait for this mulch to break down some. It is helping improve the soil. The soil is in pretty good shape here. But I mean, even after well over a year without mulching, you can see, you know, just in this little spot, how much mulch I'm able to rake up right there. So this Arizona Cypress was in a container at my house. You guys have probably seen it in 30 videos over the last 2 years. Definitely time for it to be transplanted. Loaded it in the truck. The container had a crack in it, and I was hoping to get it all the way here before it busted, but as soon as I got it out of the truck here, the rest of it busted off. I don't think I'd have gotten it out anyway because the roots were coming through the bottom. So anyway, this is the space it's going. This plant will outgrow this space. You know, it's gonna get 40 feet tall, but in the next 10 years to 15 years, it'll make a perfect screening plant here. So we'll talk a little more about it once I get it in the ground. I think the funniest part about this is I had planted it to one edge of the container and then had other things planted around it. It's not actually in the center of the root ball, you know, thinking that I was gonna, you know, go 2 years. These have been put into a new genus, Hesperus cypress. It was Cypress arizonica. Now it's Hesperus cypress arizonica. These are native to the southwestern United States and to Mexico, and you would think bringing it east, it wouldn't like water. This plant actually rooted through the bottom of that container into the ground, which stopped up the water in it, and it has literally sat in a swimming pool for months and months and months and months, and it grows like mad. So although this plant is native to the desert Southwest, it actually doesn't mind moist conditions at all, and actually thrives in them. Very fast growing, very fragrant, and on warmer days it has a pretty strong smell. Some people will like it, some people won't. I tend to find that to be the case. That container that it was in has that fiber container is not a smooth wall. If you look at the inside of a 7-gallon nursery pot right here, it has a very smooth wall. And the roots happen to always hit those, and they wrap circles around and around and around. This plant was in that fiber container, and the roots reach the edge, and where it is super root bound, they're actually not wrapping. It hit those edges, and those roots died and new ones formed. It's actually beautifully root pruned from that fiber container, which is I think it's kind of impressive, honestly. I'm gonna do that a little bit with my fingers, but I don't need to chop it like I normally would on a root-bound plant. But you can see all the, there's a tiny bit of wrapping, but for the most part, it's just roots that reach the edge. Looks totally matted, but when I do this, you can see that it's not really, they're not really wrapping around. So interesting. Smells awful because it's been sitting in water for a period of time here. I'm gonna just roll it into this hole that I have prepared. Although I say it will take more moisture than you think, I'm still gonna leave it up just a bit. This is a heavy clay soil base down here, and I'm also digging on an angle, and so I want the top, this slopes away big time. From the camera, I'm 3 feet lower than where Steph's standing with the camera, so the top, when you're digging and planting something that you want to be upright on a slope like this, the top of it needs to be kind of flush with the soil like that, and the bottom of it will stick up a bit, and we'll fill in around it that way. So there it is. It's going to need to be staked initially, but let me get the soil packed in around it and remulch it, and we'll talk a little more about Arizona cypress. So this was a heavy one this morning. This has been in this container for 2 years. It was definitely should have been transplanted before that, but now I had the perfect place for it in this landscape. Again, the top of this root ball with the slope coming away from the camera right here. And I mean, it's a big slope. I mean, as we go down this hill, you'll see when this project takes place in the next month or so, how much of a slope this actually is. I'm gonna have to do something to slow the water down, really. But it's even with the top of the slope, and then back here, it sticks up a bit and the soil's up against it. Arizona cypress, super, super fast growing. Once this thing's established, 3 or 4 feet a year, has the beautiful blue foliage and then this reddish brown stems that are just really beautiful. This is the off season. This is February during a pretty cold winter, and it still looks great. It's been in a container above the ground. These are hardy in zone 7 to 11. Again, they make just great screening plants. I want to make sure that, I discuss this in any video where I'm talking about screening plants. Yes, I'm telling you, I really like Arizona cypress. I'd rather people not go out and buy 15 of them. You'll see when this screening part of this landscape, 5-part landscape job goes in, it's going to be multiple different things creating this screen. The more species you have in your landscape, the more resilient it really is. Okay, so planting all of the same thing. Currently, these are very insect resistant, very disease resistant, very deer resistant, but we don't know. I mean, in the future, if something comes along and takes out this plant, or some sort of disease, insect problem, ice storm, I don't care what it is, it's only one plant. The rest of the screen is still in place. So, I like to point that out. Mixed screen is the best. But it's beautiful. Arizona cypress, again, it was at the house in a container for 2 years. Probably should have been transplanted last fall, but now it has a new home in a perfect location. If you guys are following along with the channel, you'll see the next 2 parts of this landscape job. And then everything will get remulched, and it should look great out here this spring. So follow along.